This video was created by Danny Kessler, Associate Professor at Dongso University and Korea's first PhD in wellness tourism. A modern luxury wellness resort is a triumph of architectural design. Millions of dollars flow into creating spaces that look perfectly serene to the eye. Yet, developers frequently exhaust their capital on these aesthetics while entirely ignoring the physics of the surrounding soundscape. Urban noise easily penetrates standard exterior walls and single-pane glass. Traffic vibrations and mechanical hums bypass the visual design completely, infiltrating the space. This jagged red wave graphic illustrates the biological consequence of that infiltration. Even at low decibels, urban frequencies chronically activate the human nervous system's stress response. These constant microactivations prevent the guest's heart rate and cortisol levels from dropping. The biological recovery they pay for never actually occurs. Relying strictly on high-end interior design creates a dangerous illusion. Hidden acoustic pollution actively destroys the clinical efficacy of the entire space. South Korea's 2026 Acoustic Wellness Mandate introduces a strict regulatory framework targeting this exact oversight. The 2026 framework regulates silence as a medical asset, moving away from the hospitality industry's traditional treatment of quiet as a passive, free amenity. This impending audit leaves currently operating luxury hotels deeply vulnerable. Many existing five-star structures lack the structural acoustic engineering required to pass. The state penalty is absolute. If a property's ambient noise level crosses a single mathematical line, its high-end wellness certification is instantly stripped away. Losing the certification instantly devalues the property. Developers can no longer command premium rates, crushing their return on investment and market positioning. The 2026 mandates establish acoustic isolation as a non-negotiable compliance standard, gatekeeping a property's access to the luxury market. The new certification standards remove all subjective guesswork. Auditors use strict mathematical thresholds to determine compliance. This technical frequency analyzer charts the first legal boundary. During daytime hours, ambient noise is capped exactly at 50 decibels. At night, the requirement tightens. The legal threshold drops down to 40 decibels or lower to mandate undisturbed sleep conditions. Achieving a consistent, unbroken sub-40 decibel reading inside a dense urban center is exceptionally difficult. To meet these targets, developers must authorize heavy capital expenditures. This requires pouring concrete for advanced structural insulation and installing heavy triple-pane acoustic glass. The internal operational systems must also be overhauled. HVAC ducts, elevator shafts, and calming the rays must be engineered to operate in total silence. The law forces developers to treat ambient noise mitigation as the eradication of a clinical toxin. However, building a perfectly soundproofed room creates a biological paradox. A silent tomb will actually fail the clinical audit. Total sensory deprivation forces the human brain to strain for auditory input. This induces a state of unnatural anxiety, directly blocking physiological recovery. To solve this, the mandate requires the engineered integration of wide-spectrum natural audio, legally classified under the framework as white sound. Developers achieve this through precise physical integration. They design spaces for targeted wind routing through foliage, or engineer continuous water flow directly into the architecture. This comparative split screen illustrates the clinical neurology at work. The erratic EEG spikes of a stressed brain on the left flatten into smooth, rhythmic alpha waves when exposed to these continuous natural frequencies. By locking into a steady rhythm, white sound facilitates the sustained alpha wave generation required for deep neurological focus and repair. True compliance requires a two-step engineering process, completely erasing the urban noise toxin and subsequently replacing it with an active, therapeutic natural soundscape. The 2026 framework operates on a clear triad. It exposes the failure of visual aesthetics alone, enforces strict 50 and 40 decibel boundaries, and requires the clinical application of white sound. Zooming out to the macroeconomy of the global hospitality sector, we see that true, engineered quiet has become exceedingly rare. By codifying exact acoustic boundaries into law, the South Korean state has transformed silence into a highly scarce market commodity. Certified properties leverage this scarcity. They structure acoustic isolation as a primary, billable medical treatment rather than an accidental background feature. Properties that achieve these technical milestones operate within a high barrier to entry market, commanding significant price premiums for their rare acoustic integrity. Wellness real estate developers must discard outdated business models that focus merely on renting luxury beds or beautifully decorated rooms. The new strategic imperative dictates that properties market themselves as a highly engineered, premium shield against the ambient toxicity of the modern world. The modern consumer faces intense daily overstimulation. They will gladly pay a significant premium for certified, guaranteed neurological recovery environments. In the 2026 economy, acoustic purity is the ultimate billable asset. The future of wellness real estate belongs to those who know how to sell the absence of noise. This video was created by Danny Kessler, Associate Professor at Dongseo University and Korea's first PhD in wellness tourism.